You guys are great. You can have a seat. Well, good morning. Can you believe Christmas season is already here? It feels weird. Who's excited for Christmas? Who here played Christmas music before Thanksgiving? Who here thinks that somebody just acknowledged sin in front of everybody? I just am curious. I don't know. I know even in our home, it is a house divided for sure. Some in our home are like, we can't get the Christmas season going fast enough. We have others in our home that are like, man, stay back, Santa. Make room for the turkey. And so, no, it was great. We had a great time with family. I had a friend of mine from high school come up and spend Thanksgiving with us, which was really, really cool to get to do, just to catch up, remember things from long ago, and spend a wonderful time together, just celebrating God's faithfulness. Faithfulness of friendship. Man alive, the faithfulness of God through long-standing friends is a huge gift. Well, in this new season, Advent Week 1, the big thing that we want to throw your way is I really truly believe that we need many people, culture itself, individually, in your families and relationships broader, even society as a whole. We need a miracle of a mindset change, like a change of how we view the world. Man, if God could just wake up our minds, a mindset change. We are going to be in Romans 13, starting in verse 11 this morning. 11 and 12 was read earlier. I want to read it one more time, and we're going to spend all morning literally focusing on just two words. These are some of my favorite sermons, like when you just really lean in deep to a couple of the words. Here we go. So Romans 13, starting in verse 11. Besides this, I'll be reading out of the ESV this morning. Besides this, the time, the hour has come for you to wake up from sleep. What does it mean to wake from sleep? Wake up. To wake up from sleep. Wake from sleep. Those two words, wake and sleep. For salvation is nearer to us now than when we first believed. The night is far gone, the day is at hand. So then let us cast off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. God, would you just do the things that only you can do? Speak through your word this morning. A number of years ago, I came across a very interesting research project by Robert Colaw, and I hope I'm saying her name right, and Allison Strenta. And even for myself doing doctoral research, I find it so fascinating. The unique things that social sciences can reveal about us. So what these researchers did is they grabbed a handful of people and they had them come in. Of course, they're doing like their control group, but what they did is they pulled these people in and they asked them, hey, would you be willing to participate in a research project measuring how people respond to someone who has like a physical deformity, right? Like something's wrong with them. So they asked these ladies to come in, and what they did is they painted, like through the advanced makeup, how they do those cool makeup things for like movies? They had people put like deformities or even a scar on the face of these ladies. And then they told the ladies, what we want to do is we want to release you into very specific social situations, and all we want you to do is to report back how people treat you when you have a very visible physical deformity, like a scar on your cheek. How do people treat you? And so they gathered these ladies together, explained the situation to them, and right before they sent them into social situations, they said to them, now don't miss this, let us touch up your makeup really quick. So they set the ladies down, and in touching up the makeup, what they did is actually removed the scar completely. All right, so hang with me. Do you see what's happening? These ladies are now going into social situations thinking that there is a deformity on their face, but it's actually not there. They sent them into things like interviews, into social gatherings, going out for dinner. And then when the ladies came back thinking there was a deformity on their face, not knowing that the touch-up of the makeup took the deformity away, they asked them to report, how did people treat you different now that you have a physical deformity? You have the scar on your face. Are you ready for this? This gets wild. The ladies that they sent into the social situations reported back feelings of being very mistreated, feelings of being stared at in social situations. They reported back that some people even made direct comments about their physical disformity. They reported back that people would look their direction or even like laugh or smile, and they were certain that they were laughing at the physical disformity that these people had. Now check this out. All of this reporting back of the wrong that has been done to them, it was all happening in their mind because there was no actual scar anymore. Now, to the surprise of the researchers, this is pretty much what they landed on. The Colaw Trinity study revealed that a person's perceived reality significantly shapes their experience of what is actually real. Their perceived reality. So if you walk into a social situation thinking that there is something about you that is wrong, then you're going to absolutely make up stories of reality that justify the preconceived idea that's in your mind, right? This is super interesting for how humans work. All right, I'm going to say it this way as we begin this Advent season. The stories we agree with shape the reality we live in. The stories we agree with, they shape the reality that we live in. The stories that we agree with shape the reality we live in. So, even now, Lord, begin to reveal to us the stories that we have agreed with. And maybe even reveal to us how they are shaping our view of reality. Now, okay, to be clear, I'm not even getting to the spiritual stuff yet. I'm just talking about observations of how humans operate. Let's sink in just a little bit further. This is not just implicit, this is explicit. And one of the groups of people that have learned this the best are all of the marketing, social media. They have mastered the art of convincing people to believe a story and making money off it. In his book, Winning the Story Wars, Jonah argues, in fact, for anybody here have a marketing degree? This is probably one of the books that you used if you do. We have no marketers in this service. Wow. I know I have one on staff. Awesome. Okay. So here we go. In his book, Winning the Story Wars, which this is probably a book that you've read if you studied marketing in school, Sachs argues that modern advertising usually tells one of two stories. Okay, so these are the two primary stories that you are hearing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Are you ready for this? Number one, you're not enough unless. Every time you scroll through TikTok, every marketing thing, every commercial you see, every Instagram message, right, over and over and over again. What is the story that's being told? You are being told you're not enough unless you buy this product, join our group. You're not enough unless. The second main story that he says, okay, so now you got to remember, our next generation of marketers are being taught to convince people these things. It's not implicit, it is explicitly being taught. How do we convince people to believe that they're not enough unless they purchase our product, join our group, okay. The second main story that he says, so if you go to school and you learn marketing, you could be amazing if you'd only give us. You could be amazing if you'd only give us a little bit of your money, a little bit of your time, if you join our group. You could be amazing. So think about the implications of these stories being told to you over and over and over and over and over again in different ways. In fact, I was so curious about this. And my kids they're teaching me about AI. Dude, I went through school, undergrad, grad school, master's, doctoral work, everything. The tools that the kids have these days, oh my goodness, right? So they were like, Dad, just ask Chat GPT. Any GPTers in here? Come on. We got a few of you. The rest of you are liars. You actually are looking stuff on it. So I was curious. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try this out. I asked ChatGPT to examine and summarize the core message of the most prevalent marketing campaigns and offered them back as an honest summary of how they appear to shape our view of reality. Okay, that's a really complex way. Isn't this not a Mike Colaw way to talk to ChatGPT? I could not say it more complicated. My wife was like, seriously? I said, honey, if it's not precise, it's wrong, right? Like that's it. There's only precision and wrong, right? So here it is. I asked ChatGPT to examine and summarize the core message of the most prevalent marketing campaigns, and I actually gave it a little more than this. Believe it or not, this is the summarized request. Of the most prevalent marketing campaigns. Here they are. You ready? Here they are. This is what, so it's summarizing them and giving them back as a way in which it shapes our view of reality, okay? So here they are. 1, others are doing better than you. When you scroll through, right? So like I was talking with my kids about this. One of my sons has gotten really into weightlifting. And he was talking about how like all of these really famous online weightlifter people, they just kind of make you feel bad. It's like, I will never be that. Like the best of the best of the best of the best. And then, of course, they sell a product. And it's like, dude, son, I hate to break it to you, but they're in amazing shape, not because of the program they just built with ChatGPT and are now trying to sell to you. They're just like DNA genetic luck of the draw in a crazy good shape, and their drive and their effort is like a gift from God. I mean, there's so many things that play into this. And I promise, if you buy this high school Instagram influencers workout program, it's not going to be better. You're not going to turn into a new person, right? Like, so here, others are doing better than you. I mean, the main idea over and over again as you scroll is others are doing better than you. So you should feel inadequate until you catch up. And of course, this is ChatGPT's way of saying that until you buy our program, get involved in our, right? Like, this is the idea. Others are doing better than you. How many times do you hear the message implied that everybody around you is doing better than you and you got to catch up in some way? Here's the next one. You ready for this? You are not enough unless you are, right? Like you are not enough as you are. You are not enough as you are. But you could be if you only had this. The second main idea from the main or overview of the marketing and what it tells us about who we are. The third one is this. You are lacking something. You are lacking beauty. You are lacking power. You are lacking success. You are lacking status. You are lacking health. You are lacking happiness. You are even lacking love. You are lacking something. Man, it's really hard to sell somebody something if they're convinced that they're okay. The fourth thing that it gave me was this. Just a few more of these. Here we go. Your identity is tied to your possessions, your appearance, what you wear, what you drive, what you eat, or your own, or what you drive, eat, or own, and it defines ultimately your worth. The fifth thing that it gave to us was this. To be attractive, you must align with what we say is beautiful. Like, it is imperative, if you're a clothing company, if you're like Nike, it's imperative that you think that what's most attractive is what they're making. Now, this is a really interesting thing. The sixth thing, the main idea, and I was asking it even more, like, what's the main message of media and many of the movies? And I know I pick on Disney a lot, but Disney, like, what is the main message that's coming out of this? You ready? So this is ChatGPT's, not Mike's summary of it, but ChatGPT's summary of it. You ready for this? This is a story that's being told over and over again. You are the center of the universe. Your desires deserve to be fulfilled. You are the center of the universe. Your desires deserve to be fulfilled. This is the story that's being told over and over again. What happens when a whole society believes that they are the center of the universe? And what happens when the main thing that you as the center of the universe are believing is that you're lacking and incomplete and not whole and you need to take, get, buy, have? What does that do to a group of people? All right, so here's like the $10 million question. Wake up. What are we waking up from, right? What would it do to you if you actually believed all of this? All right, so like running down this rabbit hole of how we're being shaped culturally to think and act in certain ways. And we know that what you believe about yourself, the stories that you choose to believe, absolutely shape your version of reality. So what would it do to you? What would it do to you if you actually believed all of these messages that are being thrown at you continually? What would it do to you? Ironically, there's a whole bunch of research on this too, right? So if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, oh my goodness, you can download my notes. I have all kinds of good Chicago-style references that you can look up if you really want to mine this. But I'm going to give you the summaries, okay? There's tons of research on this. So the more that you believe the actual messages that are being thrown your way, culturally being thrown your way, here is what it does to you. If you believe the dominant cultural narratives found in commercials, so social media, advertising, and then even like movies, Disney shows, if you actually believe all these, you will likely, here it is, this is not my opinion, this is still just straight social research. The more you believe these messages, you will experience a significant increase in anxiety, depression, and body image concerns. You will. In fact, they need you to think bad about yourself so that you will give up your money, your time, your energy to buy their product, to participate in it. You will. The more you sink into this, it's going to mess with your head. Number 2, you will suffer a decrease in self-esteem and perceived self-worth. By the way, again, if you want to download my notes online, I have references to research projects supporting each one of these statements. This is not my opinion. You will suffer a decrease in self-esteem and perceived self-worth. Number 3, you will develop brand dependence. Like, this is the thing that everybody needs you. They need you to have brand dependence. Using products or images to patch perceived identity gaps. Number 4, you will begin to evaluate others based on how well they align with these consumer-driven ideals. Here's the thing, it's really fascinating in one of the projects, social science projects. You would think that modern American narratives, modern Western narratives, are making us more inclusive. In fact, it's actually doing the opposite. You become more judgmental the more you sink into needing somebody's product or to look a certain way, or if you don't line up, like it's making you more judgmental, not less. The 5th thing is this: cultural narratives such as inadequacy, comparison, and unmet ideals directly contribute to the victim mindset, right? And we know from the research project at the beginning of this sermon, right, we know very clearly the ideas that you choose to align with, that you choose to believe, they shape your version of reality. Let me say this really clear. This is true today, and it was true back then. We need a mindset miracle. We need a mindset miracle. I want to go back to Romans 13:11. We're literally preparing to understand two words, wake from sleep, right? There's 3 words there, I get it, but the 2 words are wake and sleep. Wake and sleep. Besides this, you know the time, that the hour has come for you to wake, there's one, from sleep. Sleep is the second one. What do we mean by this? For salvation is nearer to us now than when we first believed. Well, a couple things that we really need to point out from this contextually. Number 1, in Romans 13, Paul shifts from deep theology in chapters 1 through 11 into practical application, chapters 12 through 15. Verses 11 through 14 mark a transition. He moves from ethical instruction to eschatological motivation. So what do I mean when I say this? In simpler terms, what we believe about the purpose of life shapes how we live now. Absolutely, what you believe the purpose of life is, it shapes how we live now. And it even shapes your capacity to enjoy and participate in life now. Isn't it wild how, like, you can insert a few thousand years in human history and, like, humans are still wrestling with the same things? The tools might change, but the temptation, methods and modalities, man, they remain quite similar all the way through. The word sleep, I really want to sit on this for just a second. The word sleep doesn't mean literal unconsciousness, just to be ultra clear. It's a metaphor. It refers to the person who has surrendered their thinking to the culture around them. Man, what happens to the people that truly fully give in to the story about themselves that culture states? Wake up from that. To wake up means more than mental alertness. It is a spiritual shift in awareness and desire. It's choosing to see, believe, and live according to the truth as revealed in Jesus. It is a waking up to a new narrative. It's rising above the story that's being told to you and about you through all of the cultural narratives and every mechanism and model that they come from, right? Like, it's rising above this. I love the way Charles Spurgeon says it. He says, "You will never catch the devil asleep. Let not the devil catch you asleep. Watch and be sober, that ye may be always up to do your duty." By the way, we need to use ye again. That's kind of a fun one to say. Spurgeon basically taught this, and I love it. I think he's exactly right. Spurgeon taught that truth exists ultimately in layers. There is a relative truth, how we perceive the world. But above it, he says, is an eternal absolute truth. And in fact, he says it so it'd be like God's truth. What is truly true. The enemy works, I love this is a Spurgeon idea. The enemy works to tirelessly obscure that truer truth. He is always trying to create fogs of false narratives. What fog of false narrative are you sitting in? To wake up is to pierce through that fog and embrace the deeper truths of God, the greater, the truer truths. Maybe a way to say it really clear would be this. Hey, to all of you, I love you so much, I love you. To spiritually wake up is to stop agreeing with the things that destroy your soul. To spiritually wake up is to stop agreeing with the things that destroy your soul. To spiritually wake up is to stop agreeing with the things that are destroying your soul. I'm going to invite the worship team up, and I'm going to be done in just a few moments as I pull these ideas together. Imagine being one of those researchers, right? Like you're measuring how powerful the stories that we tell ourselves, how influential the stories that we tell ourselves shape our ability to see what is real. I can only imagine, like if I was on, and I've done this, like, so, I mean, I am a doctoral researcher. I've been through like the city training and the CITI training. It's a way in which you protect sensitive subject groups whenever you're doing doctoral research, right? So when you go through all this, you have to be very careful how you ask questions so you don't ask leading questions in research. And I can only imagine like trying to not influence the outcome, so you're just asking straight questions in the research project. I can only imagine what it would have been like to be a recorder. And you have a lady sit down with you who is convinced she had a scar on her face when she went into a public situation, but the scar was removed right before she went in. So the only scar that existed was in her mind. The only disformity that existed was in her mind. That's it. And I can only imagine this. I mean, in fact, if you get a chance, it's worth reading through the research project. You have a lady that's like, in tears, feeling like she has been mistreated because of her scar. Absolutely she's recording out loud statements that people made comments about her scar or looked at her and laughed at the scar on her face. Like when she thinks she has this, her mind makes a version of reality that isn't actually really real. It's subjectively real. Imagine being a researcher. Like sometimes I wonder how some of these research projects get past the IRB board. There's like a review board that's supposed to approve or deny these. Sometimes I read through research projects, I'm like, how in the world did that make it past the IRB board? But as I'm looking at this and as I'm reading through this research project, I mean like, wow. The Trinity study truly revealed that a person's perceived reality, it significantly shapes their experience of what is actually real. Okay, so we've spent time this morning talking about the message that culture tells us. Let me ask a really simple question, just to think about. Who does Jesus say you are? Who does Jesus say you are? Who does Jesus say you are? You are genuinely desired and perfectly loved long before you are perfect. Romans 5:8, but God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Romans 5:8. To all of you sitting in the room, all you can do is think about your imperfections, your failures, your past mistakes. You are genuinely desired and perfectly loved long before you are perfect. While we were still yet sinners, Christ died for us. To those in this room that come from really broken families, you have like messed up relationships with your parents and messed up relationships with your grandparents and kids, and it's complicated, it's difficult, or you have a divorced home, or to those that have just a really complex, hard family, let me just say this clearly. This is the message that God wants you to hear. God wants to make you, let's try this. God wants to make you, let me make this personal. God wants to make me family. Let's say that out loud together. God wants to make me family. But to all who did receive him, who gave the right to become children, he gave the right to become children of God, John 1:12. He offers to you, no matter how broken your background is, the opportunity saying, come, join my family, join my family, join my family. But I'm not perfect enough. Before you were perfect, I died for you. I wanted you completely. Before you ever got it right, I want you to join my family. Who does Jesus say you are? He says, you are longing for eternal love and peace. And that, or your longing, that desire, that existential emptiness in us, your longing for eternal love and peace, it is not foolish. It's possible. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. I mean, like what God is saying, right? What the message of the Bible is saying is that existential brokenness in us, the longing for purpose and meaning that goes far beyond what this world can satisfy. Pascal calls it the God-shaped vacuum. Lewis calls it a unique appetite. What a wild way to talk about it. That only God can fill. We have a hunger that only God can fill. But your longing for eternal love and peace, it is not foolish. It's actually possible. Revelation 21:4 says, he will wipe every tear. He will wipe every tear away every tear. Death shall be no more, for the former things will have passed away. So let me just say this. The ideas that you agree with shape your view of reality. Let me just set this out here. They literally shape your view of reality. I know what culture is trying to tell you. I know what TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, I know what every marketing sign, what magazine comes to, they still send out magazines in the mail? I don't know, I'm gonna include it anyways. What magazines in the mail tell you? I know what those messages are saying about you. What happens to you when you agree with them? Let me just pose an idea to you. Let me ask you this. What if you actually believed and lived by God's truth? What if you actually believed the message that Jesus is saying about you? How would that change your reality? What if you could actually turn down the noise of the world and turn up the voice of God? How would that change your view of reality? How would you change? How would your view of yourself change? How would your view of your neighbor change? How would your view of your purpose and meaning and hope, how would all of that change if you actually believed the message of Scripture? What if you actually believed it? My friends, we need a mindset miracle. You think you need healed of finances. You think you need healed of physical ailments. I mean, all those things might be true, but I'm telling you, one of the biggest things that we need healed from is we need a mindset miracle. Through Jesus, here's the idea. Through Jesus, the incarnate Christ, right? This is it. Step one of Advent. What is Advent? Advent is Christ, incarnation. Jesus, God, comes to us in our brokenness to tell us, and literally the word engulion, good news. He comes to us and he gives us a new story of reality. And over and over and over again, the pinnacle of it, right? Like being Jesus on the hill. Blessed are those. The Beatitudes, right? Like the point is trying to get humans to see and hear the truth and believe it again. You need a mindset miracle. We need a mindset miracle. Through Jesus, God rewrites the story of humanity, inviting us to agree with his truth about who we really are. Here's what I want to do this morning as we begin this Advent season. The time has come, the hour has come for you to wake from sleep. For salvation is nearer to us than when we first believed. The night is far gone, the day is at hand. So then let us cast off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. I want you right now to think of somebody in your life that needs a mindset miracle. I like Spurgeon's idea. They're sitting in the fog of false. Who in your life needs a mindset miracle? I've been watching the Hobbit movies, though I'm actually a Tolkien fan, and it drives me a little nuts that the Hobbit movies are so far from the books. But I've been watching the Hobbit movies with Nate while he's been home for Thanksgiving. And there's this scene, it's actually really sad, where this dwarf king has been held captive for a lifetime in this. If you've not seen the movie, but this dwarf king has been held captive for a lifetime by the Dark Lord, right? Held captive for a lifetime. And as Gandalf is trying to rescue this dwarf king who's been held captive for a lifetime, he's trying to walk him out of this like dark castle. And the dwarf king who's been held captive for a lifetime is like, there's no way out. There's nowhere to go. We can't get out. And it's like these vines are alive and moving and they're going to pull you back in. And Gandalf, he takes a stick. It's just such a wild moment. He takes a stick and he goes, it's all an illusion. And he bangs the wall. And this dwarf who's been held captive for a lifetime, all of a sudden, boom. I was never trapped at all, but in my mind. You know people that have been held captive by a lifetime. You've maybe been held captive by a lifetime, by a message culture has convinced you to believe. And I'm telling you, the incarnate Christ wants to set you free to believe a truer truth. Oh, how your life would change if you could wake up, oh sleeper. I want you to think right now, who are the people in your life, somebody that needs a mindset miracle, a mindset miracle? Who is it in your mind right now? Who is it that needs a mindset miracle? And we want to be praying, even as a team, that God would break them free from it. And here in a little bit, when the team comes up, we'll have some of our prayer people. I'll even hang out up here too. And if you're going, man, I need prayer. I need to break free from a mindset that has kept me in darkness. Or maybe you have a loved one, a son, a daughter, an aunt, an uncle, and you're going, man, they need to break free. They need a new good news. And Goulion, the good news, the Greek, that's that Greek idea that Jesus is doing over and over and over and over again. They need a new good news. And we want to pray that God would break free. Like Gandalf, tap that. It's all an illusion. Stop believing the lie. We need a mindset miracle. In your mind right now, who needs that mindset miracle? Would you be willing to pray for them? Do you need a mindset miracle? We're willing to pray with you. And so as we enter into this next phase of worship, and then even as the service, all the way up until the end of the service and even afterwards, we'll just have our prayer team up here, some of our prayer team members, and I'll be up here too, and we'd love to pray with you if you know somebody that just needs a mindset miracle. God, would you do what only you can do? Would you break us free from the lies that hold us in bondage? Oh, how much better our life could be if we actually believed. I like the way it's literally translated in Greek. If we actually believed the good news. Oh, how we would change. What if it's true? Oh, how our lives would change. Go ahead and stand to your feet. And if you want prayer or want to pray for someone, we'll have some of our prayer team members up. I'd love it if you come and pray with them. A mindset miracle.